Fourth early stage company, LifeAir from Portland, Oregon, is saving millions of lives by pioneering the first ventilator that eliminates patient-to-patient transmission of diseases such as pneumonia and COVID. Welcome, Cosmo Group.
Hi, everybody. Great to be here. I'm here in my lab in Portland. Sorry I can't be down there with you. I just love exciting events like this. But my younger son has asthma, so and his vaccine hopefully is just around the corner, and then I can let my guard down a little. So what hospitals don't want you to know is that if everybody here went into the hospital and were put on a ventilator, then a handful or two of us wouldn't come out, and not because the disease we're being treated for, but because of the ventilator. Because the problem is that ventilators were just never designed for use with highly infectious diseases, because you can't actually clean the inside of a ventilator. In fact, they're just never cleaned inside. So for COVID, one patient breathes their virus out into the ventilator and it can get blown into the next patient. So using a ventilator after someone else has used it is like sharing their mask. And also, it's well known that Pseudomonas and Acinetobacter that cause pneumonia live in ventilators. So this costs hospitals $12 billion a year and 100,000 people die. So back at the start of the pandemic, when I started to learn all this, I said, I just have to fix this. And here's something that everybody should know. So it turns out that the modern flu is the Spanish flu from 1918. So if we wonder, what does the post-COVID world look like? We already know. It'll be here for the next 100 years at least. So it's not going anywhere. So rule number one of pitching is never do a live demo. So I'm going to do a live demo. Here we go. Small silver lining for not being there today. So here's our prototype. It's breathing into this test lung. And what we've done is we've made a cartridge. The whole airway is contained in a removable cartridge. So all the pathogens are contained inside a single unit. And here's how it works. So I can stop the ventilator and I can pop out this cartridge, and all the dirty stuff is contained inside these tubes and nothing touches the base unit. So I can just pop out a fresh one out of the bag, put it in, hit start, and in a couple seconds it's breathing again. And it's clean and sanitized and fresh, and you're good to go. There it is, we're breathing. It's that easy, problem solved. So Dr. Fred Meem, he's the director of the ICU at Stanford and one of our advisors. He says, LifeAir's innovation solves the problem of patient-to-patient transmission once and for all, including for COVID-19. And recently, we just got some good news that all of the claims in our first patent have been allowed. I myself have over 37 patents and a PhD in physics, and I'm 3 for 3 in leading projects and inventing that have come to market, including a transistor that's now in the iPhone, in fact, in this very device I'm talking to you from, and a malaria diagnostic that's set to save millions of kids' lives. It's now for sale in India, and a leading prostate surgery machine that has no risk of nerve damage that's now available in the US. Now, it's a huge market. It's a $5 billion TAM, but the goal is not to knock Medtronic off the top of the mountain. And in medical devices, our goal is to just get on the radar by bringing it to market. So with 1% of the market, we get 50 million in sales. That's a 250 million valuation. And then we're primed for acquisition. And the risk is gone, and they're happy to acquire us. It's their sweet spot. They're happy to have cowboys like us take all the risk. And then they just put it into their roadmap. And so what I like about this project is that we're solving a problem that has been brushed under the rug for decades. And so once we show our technology, we become unignorable. You just can't go back to business as usual. Because once you have a solution that no longer risks lives, then it becomes imperative to use it. And this is what makes this go viral. So right now, we're ready to head towards commercialization. And in about 2 years, including FDA approval, we can be on the market. So together, we can save millions of lives and billions of dollars and head towards a large exit in about 5 years. With LifeAir, you get a breath of fresh air every time. Thank you.
Cosmo, this is amazing.
Hi, Cosmo. I am most excited to see where you are. I missed that when we talked to you last time. I really missed Josh's Willy Wonka engineering factory, and I'm glad to see you were in there with your pretend lung. So tell us why existing ventilators are allowed to function in the way that they are. I don't understand. If they're literally passing disease around from patient to patient, why has this problem not been solved before?
Yeah, so as far as I can understand, and this was true of the of the prostate surgery machine I made as well, that I think there's this thing in medicine where, look, 90% of the people that go on a ventilator are saved. And if there's no other solution, then you just, what can you do? And that's pretty good, right? That medicine isn't perfect, and we do save 9 out of 10 people that would die otherwise. It's sort of, there's this level below which we just kind of live with it. And if I walk through a hospital, by the way, I could come out with 100 problems that need solving. There's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, colonoscopies. This is also true for the equipment used in colonoscopies, Cosmo. So just earmark that one for your next project. Yeah, I know, freaky. Let's not go too deep into it. Brian, how about you? How about you?
Set me up for, how can I follow? Cosmo, great pitch. So let's just assume that you skate through FDA approvals, you get all the patent protection, all your IP is protected, and you've done this before, so I'm curious, how do you crack, like, hospitals are notoriously difficult to sell into, right? Bureaucratic, like, horrible administrative processes you have to kind of navigate. How would you kind of shorten the timeline to an exit on this thing by accelerating growth after you get to the point where you can sell?
Sure. So there's a couple parts to our go-to-market strategy. So number one is doctors. So as you may know, the key to almost all hospitals' buying process is it needs a doctor recommendation to put it into their pipeline. So we're gathering many doctors now and getting their endorsements. So, and that'll continue on through the next 2 years. So when our devices are ready to go, then we've got dozens and dozens of doctors teed up, and that begins that sale process. And we might already have gone down the path and have letters of interest from hospitals at that point. The other strategy is we have a very close relationship with the president of Premier Group. It's a hospital aggregator. They buy for over 100 hospitals, and so he's setting us up as a pipeline into his hospitals. Then in India, we've already talked to the minister in India in charge of buying ventilators for the whole country. And one of the guys on my team, his magic is he can get anybody on the phone that I want to talk to in the world. I don't know how he does it. I can't do that. And so this guy said, this is great. We love the price point. And he's buying quantities of 3,000 to 35,000 units. And he said, call us when your machine is ready.
Wow.
Cosmo, tell us a little bit about what your protectable IP. It feels like everybody on the planet tried to build a ventilator 12 months ago because it seemed like we needed them so badly. And I guess I'm just curious why there isn't already a disposable, swappable ventilator part.
Yeah, so all the other companies that popped up this year, I call YAVs, or yet another ventilator, because they didn't push the forefront of medicine at all. There's sadly like very little innovation. They all hopped on the bandwagon of shortage. We were supposed to need 750,000 of them in the US. That didn't happen. The rest of the world still needs them. And that ship has sailed. So none of them did anything that they didn't push technology or price or anything. So they're really just irrelevant. Was there a second part?
Yeah, what's your...
Cosmo. Hey.
The shade for the ventilator companies. What is your IP? What do you actually own? Like, is it the disposable concept or?
So amazingly, we got a little bit lucky that it's a really untrodden field. There's very little IP in this area. So it looks like we can own the whole concept of the disposable.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, Cosmo, I mean, I know there's too many questions, and at the same time, you answered them all already. Cosmo, thank you so much. This is just awesome. I loved your pitch, and I really want to wish you a lot of luck, because this is great. Can't wait to see what you do next. Have a great night.
Thanks, Cosmo.